Hi, it's Panda Movies here. Today I'm going to explain the horror movie called The Most Dangerous Game. Warning, there are spoilers ahead. Enjoy the video. The movie opens with two sailors confused as to why the marking lights are not in their original position. They continue to stress about the mispositioned channeling lights over drinks and that the captain feels iffy with them crossing the waters they're on. The doctor then told them about Savage, who hunts humans for sport. Bob then told him that it wouldn't be much different from animal hunting, so Doc asks him how he would feel if he was the one being hunted. Bob avoids the question. As Bob explains in an answer to the question, the boat suddenly exploded and it sank completely. They were all submerged in the water and panicked when they saw sharks beneath them. Bob swims to an island and blacks out. He wakes up and realizes he is all alone. He goes through the forest to see a big house in the middle. He knocks and the door just opens. A man appears behind him and explains his situation, but turns out he doesn't speak English, according to the man, Count Zaroff, who came down the stairs. Bob then told Zaroff about the shipwreck, and Zaroff clarified with him if he was the only survivor. Bob finds out he wasn't the only survivor who stayed in the mansion. He was then brought by Yvonne to his room. Later that night, he was invited for coffee in the living room. He then met Eve and Martin Trowbridge, who were also survivors of a shipwreck. Eve tells him about their personal situation and that their ship is being repaired, but Zaroff tells her that it's going slow. They then found out that Bob is a hunter and that Zaroff is too. Zaroff tells him about his hunting experience from when he was young. He then stressed about how he got bored with hunting and that he needed a new animal to hunt. Bob tries guessing what the animal was, but Martin tells him Zaroff doesn't say. Zaroff tells him about how he hunts for love. Eve pulls Bob aside to inform him that the saw boathouse they were supposed to ride to go to the mainland all went well and that he suspects he is preventing them from going. She also told him about how there were 4 of them, but they disappeared when Zaroff brought them to his trophy room, but when confronted, he just said they went hunting. After playing the piano, he sends them off to bed and says their good nights, but Martin stays with the Count. After Bob went up, Zaroff brought Martin to his trophy room. When Bob was sleeping, he was woken by the sound of knocking on his door. It was Eve. She came to tell Bob about his brother's disappearance and asked for his help. They went down and entered the trophy room. They enter and hear Zaroff going down from a room with a body. They confront Zaroff right away and find out he is dead. They tried attacking him, but they were stopped by Zaroff's men, and Eve was brought elsewhere. Bob gets angry upon finding out Zaroff destroys ships crossing near his island and hunts them for sport. Zaroff then forces Bob to hunt with him, and Bob aggressively disagrees. Zaroff plays a game with Bob where hunts him in the woods, and if he wins, they are granted freedom. Bob and Eve went deep in the forest and created a killer trap. As they finished the trap, they saw Zaroff with a bow and arrow and they quickly hid. Zaroff sees the trap and goes on to threaten them. When Eve found out that they would be hunted using a rifle, she ran away very fast. Bob was able to calm her down, and they proceeded to make another trap using the man trap they found, but Zaroff was able to dodge it when he continued to hunt them. They went in the middle of the fog, so Zaroff called his dogs for backup. Eve and Bob ran as fast as they could. They were able to go up a tree and run all the way to the side of a waterfall. Zaroff caught them and captured Eve. Turns out Bob has won, and upon Zaroff giving him the keys, he tried killing him, but Bob was able to knock him down. The movie ends with them leaving the island on the boathouse and Zaroff falling down a window trying to shoot an arrow.